and we're going to go to our next caller here. We're running a little bit behind schedule here. She is a very big, long-time activist in the movement, and she is the founder of Stateless Sweets, a business that makes chocolate using natural ingredients, and I have to try her shit. It sounds a little great stuff. And also, she is the reason why we're having her on the show, because she was just recently arrested for allegedly having marijuana on her possession in Texas, right at the checkpoint, right near the border. Isn't that something? Well, here's our very good friend. Let's welcome her, Jillian Batty. Jillian, you with us?
I am. Hi there, everyone. How are you today?
Hey, Jillian. Thank you so much.
Hi, Jillian.
Hi.
I want some chocolate.
We got to try your chocolate sometime, and we'll talk about that as we go along here. But I just wanted to start off, first of all, to get everybody to know you a little bit. How did you first become aware of the ideas of liberty? And well, let's just start with that. How did you get involved in that?
Sure. My husband and we were not together for a while, but we started listening to podcasts when we started talking again, and specifically Free Domain Radio and what was the other one? Another one that Stephanie Murphy does. I forget what it's called right now. Sports Therapy. Yeah, there you go. And I just started listening to them, and I had just gotten out of actually another arrest probably 6 months prior to that, so I was really open and susceptible to these ideas, and so it really worked out. The timing did really well with just being open to all the information being provided to me, and my husband helped me along the way as well.
Right. That's awesome. Okay, so let's get to the meat of what happened here. You were on your way to Pork Fest, and which is basically an annual camp. It's basically what we call Liberty Camp in New Hampshire, pretty much. And it's with a bunch of other activists. Everybody congregates. Everybody has a good time. They play music. They eat lots of food. They talk about ideas of liberty. They spend time with each other. They discuss a lot of things, and everybody just has a great time. And they talk about all sorts of things and plans for the upcoming year and stuff like that, as I understand it. And and you're on your way to this festival in New Hampshire, and apparently, lo and behold, in Texas, you ran into some trouble. Can you tell us exactly what happened in Texas?
Absolutely. I was first going to be picking up my son near Dallas, so I was on my way to do that. I was about 8 hours away from being able to see him, and I haven't seen him in 3 weeks. There was a checkpoint, permanent Border Patrol checkpoint, right around the corner of a mountain. I wasn't aware that there was such a thing unless you were going, across, country borders. So, lo and behold, here I am going through this line. I'm coming through, and a ton of cameras pointing at me. And I get to the front, and they told me that the drug dogs alerted them to my vehicle being suspicious or possibly allegedly having narcotic drugs inside of it. So to step out of the vehicle, provide them with my ID, and then right after that, they tell me I am under arrest as they start tearing through my car with the dog. So. Now,
were you actually carrying any marijuana on your possession, or did they plan it, or what was the deal there?
Right now, I can only say, I allegedly was, I was charged with a third-degree felony for PCOS of hashish. So that's as much as I can. Yeah. That's what I can say. Which hashish is just basically a concentrated form of cannabis.
Man, you are Tony Montana with breasts. You know, you're like, you know, you're without the stunts. You know, I mean, you're like, you know, you're gonna go running this big estate with all these guards and security cameras. You know, you're like the drug. No, I'm kidding. But no, really. No, seriously. Did they actually Mirandize you? Because from what I understand, you know, Mandy Cunningham, another liberty activist, was arrested on similar charges, and she was never properly Mirandized. And apparently she was never given a phone call.
Oh, no.
Were you Mirandized?
About an hour and a half after I was told I was arrested, I was provided with my Miranda quote, unquote, rights. So... Yeah, I mean, it was basically after they took all my information down, so probably about an hour after that, they gave me my Miranda rights. I'm so sorry, I've been driving for about 10 hours today, so a little bit tired. But, yeah, after that, I got thrown into a cell at the Border Patrol for about 6 hours, waiting for the sheriff to come pick me up, and right now the name of the town or the county is escaping me. But, so I was thrown in there, and then the sheriff came, and I was never handcuffed, which was nice. They could obviously see, you know, I was a very peaceful person. And I was driven over by the sheriff to the jail, and I was left in solitary for about 6.5 hours because I was receiving already, before I even received, or I was received at the jail, I was receiving calls, just a call flood from all my friends and liberty activists that, you know, were supporting.
Right.
Supporting me.
Right. Just want to let everybody know that my partner in crime has finally arrived. Hey, Jim, Jillian's here, so go on and do the rest of the interview with her.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Good.
She was just telling us exactly that she was arrested and she was Mirandized, so go for it.
Right.
Well, what was that experience like? It's not happened to me before, although I was under long-term investigation while in the Marine Corps. I was cleared, but I was never actually read my rights. I mean, you know, what were you thinking at the time when it happened?
Well, as far as when they read me my Miranda rights, it was something that, you know, went in one ear and out the other, because I was just so worried about getting to see my son and, you know, getting thrown in a cage. So, where I was at basically is, you know, I'm getting taken to the jail, and I was thrown into a solitary as kind of retaliation for my friends calling the Border Patrol in the jail. I didn't have a blanket or a bedroll or toilet paper or a cup for about 6 hours. So I was just sitting in there, and that's after pretty much 24 hours of being awake. And they were aware of that. You know, I let them know what my situation was. And I was refused basic human rights, you know, fresh water and all that good stuff, or just even warmth. And let's see, I spent, I'm not even sure how much time I spent there. I got let go the next day, about 7 o'clock at night. But I was moved to a regular, you know, cell block with a bunch of girls that were really nice. Also held there for similar, I guess you would call them crimes, or supposed crimes, for drug-related crimes, I guess to say. And
hey, Jillian, I just wanted to ask you, did you have any candy in the car, and if so, did they pilfer it?
No, I actually did not have any candy at the car at the time. No, I did not. But yeah, that would have been interesting.
That's good.
Yeah. But then I was really,
right?
Right. Yeah, they took all of my property that was suspected of being, you know, narcotic or paraphernalia. So,
wow.
Yeah, they stole my property.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was bailed out, and I was released about 3 hours after I was bailed out because they lost my clothing. So that was the end of that, and I've been driving ever since, trying to make it back home. So, yeah. And it's kind of I'm kind of in a whirl right now. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I know that there's been a lot of support from the Liberty community, and I'm just trying to get home and figure out what I need to do next. And right now I have a chip-in going to try to help with my legal fees because I was struggling just to try to get to Port Access. So a lot of people are flooding in with help with that. So, I mean, appreciate that. Appreciation for that. Just I can't believe how much help there is coming in. So it's really flattering and nice. So, yeah.
Oh boy, Jim must have dropped the call by accident. Hang on here. Oh boy, Jim. Okay, there you go.
Stupid AT&T. That's all I got to say about that.
I've been having the same issues with T-Mobile, so I understand. I'm surprised I'm even talking to you right now with the service I have. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your plans right now with regards to what's happened?
What my plans are right now is just to get home. When I get home, I'll figure it out from there and start seeking advice. I'm going to be filing some complaints against the county for the way that they treated me, and also trying to lawyer up with somebody who is familiar with liberty-minded ideas or somebody that is willing to work with me and realizes that I have a small child and I can't be facing 3 to 7 years in jail for allegedly having narcotic plant matter on me. So it's my goal just to stay free at this point. We'll see how that goes.
Was anybody reached out to you from the local community or even online since people found out about it to help out?
Do you mean like within the Liberty community or within that specific county or
Liberty community.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've had unbelievable amounts of donations and advice and help. Benjamin of Good Men Do Something, Benjamin Grant Bartholomew, he helped me put together a YouTube video of I had an interview on Free Talk Live. I've had Clyde of, Never Take a Plea Deal. He's been very generous with his donations from, Never Take a Plea to help me with my financial issues, trying to handle this and get my car out of the jail. So, I've been flooded with help, and it's amazing. And just, everybody's really been there supporting me, and it's making me feel very peaceful about the situation, as peaceful as I can at this point. So.
I was okay. Go ahead. I was going to ask anybody if they had any questions. You say it.
Yeah, same thing I was going to do. I was going to have the panel go ahead and ask any questions they might have right now.
How about you, Alex?
Well, considering the legal position that she is in right now, there is probably not really any questions that I would ask. I would probably only make the statement of, keep your chin up and keep doing what you're doing. But yeah. I wouldn't want her to say anything that might incriminate herself either.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. That would be my take. I know there's a lot of things you can't say.
Right.
But hang in there.
Thank you.
Get a good lawyer.
Yeah.
And fight.
I'm trying. I have a chip-in going, so hopefully I'll be able to get some funds together for a retainer.
Well, can you say the name of the chip-in site?
I actually don't have it on me right now, but I know that it's available on my Facebook, so www.facebook.com/Stateless Suites. There's a couple links there for the chip-in. I'm going to be creating a new one with, my story on it and everything soon, because my husband was actually the one that originally set up the chip-in, so it's not really filled with much information right now. And update everybody about how much, I've actually received help for. Last night I posted pictures of all the receipts for, getting my car out and for the bail and for my hotel stay. So I'm trying to be very transparent with that, and I have a really high integrity, and I want everybody to know that and trust where they're putting their money is going towards, an activist that needs help right now. So,
Now, what are the specific charges that the federal government is actually pushing on you? Because as I understand it, after listening to Free Talk Live, it was the feds who basically are pretty much persecuting you. I mean, they're pretty much going after you. And my understanding, it's a third-degree felony, as I understand it.
Yeah, let me correct you a little bit on that. It was federal agents that obtained me and arrested me, but I was transferred over to the county over there, and it seems like it's going to be state charges against me, which I'm a little bit more happy about because the federal case sounds really scary. I have a ticket for paraphernalia, a $500 ticket for that I have to pay. And then on top of that, I'm facing third-degree felony charges for, again, a PCOS of hashish. I'm not sure what PCOS stands for. Maybe you guys know. Maybe it just stands for possession. I'm not sure. But, yeah, at this point, facing some pretty big charges. Ian was telling me something along those 3 to 7 years, possibly being caged for a small plant, for allegedly having a small amount of narcotics in my car. So,
too bad Johnny Cochran's not alive. I mean, no, I'm kidding. It's like, you could have. I mean, what's really ridiculous is that, they're going after you, and it's not just you, they went after Andy Cunningham as well. And this idea that they're going to go after people because they have pot on their person, in their possession, a little plant, is ridiculous.
Interesting fact about that county, too. I think it's Humphreys or Hunter's County. They just received like a $3 million grant because of their involvement in the war on drugs. Thought that was really interesting. That the state is funding them to basically cage people for these small amounts of plant material. It's very frustrating what's happening over there. And even as today, I was driving back through that county to come back home, and I was getting so angry thinking that other people may have been being pulled over and caged for that. It was really frustrating and saddening. So.
Have you reached out to NORML at this point and some of the libertarian legal resources?
Those are the next steps I'm going to be taking when I get home. I'll probably be home about Wednesday next week in Greenfield, and I'll be reaching out to a bunch of places. NORML was one of them, and other activists for cannabis, people against cannabis prohibition. And then, a lot of the Liberty crowd is helping me find other resources, like the ACLU was suggested to be contacted for my treatment.
I was the one who suggested to you on Facebook the idea of contacting Institute for Justice. Yeah, the Institute for Justice. It's IJ.org. They mainly focus on economic liberty cases, but they do some social issues. But to me, liberty is not shouldn't just be divided into economic and social liberty. It's liberty, period.
Right.
And this, and since even if you had immorally bought the pot and the hashish in possession or what have you, it's still not the federal government's business in going after you.
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole idea is, the whole role of government from the monarchist position is, going after people who are committing violent crimes like rape, murder, theft, those kind of crimes. Right. But to go after people who are committing, who are basically, engaging in peaceful, voluntary transactions in the guise of, and they're going after them in the guise of committing victimless crimes. I mean, it's just idiotic beyond
words.
Frustrating.
Yeah, it's so frustrating and saddening that they can, that they can take these people that have not hurt anyone. Like I haven't hurt, anyone in my life, physically or, I've never gotten into a fight in my life, honestly. So I mean, it's, physical fight. So I mean, for them to have grounds to, lock me up behind bars and, keep me there, and then to treat me the way that they did, it's unbelievable. It's I didn't think that it would be something that ever happened to me ever, or it could be possible for,
We gotta get these conservatives stoned. I mean, that's the point where they're going to change their mind on it. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
Go ahead, Jim. You were going to say something.
Yeah, just really disgusted that it's happened to you, and hopeful that you'll be able to come out of this all right, and maybe teach them a lesson in the end.
Yeah, that's the goal. The goal is to stay free and to let them know that the way that they treated me was just it was appallable. It is not okay. So, that's my end goal.
Well, is there anything that anybody here in the Liberty movement can do to help you? What can we do?
Sure. At this time, if anybody has any information, they're more than welcome to email me, just about my situation or experience that they've had with Texas. Statelesssuites@yahoo.com is my email address. Or again, if they want to help with my legal fees, they can go over to my Facebook, my Stateless Suites Facebook, facebook.com/Stateless Suites, and contribute. Those would be the two things that I think would help me most at this point.
I have another question here.
Sure.
When you were arrested and you were put in the jail cell, actually, this is it's actually a two-part question here. One is, well, how long were you in that cell in county lockup? And number two, when you were my understanding is that somebody told you while you were in your cell that people were calling for you and demanding to know why you were being imprisoned and whatnot, that they had put you in solitary confinement, and you were put in solitary confinement because supposedly people were calling you, so therefore. It's like they were trying to put the blame entirely on the Liberty movement because of how they were treating you.
Right.
So can you address those two questions if you can?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was held at Border Patrol for 6 hours in a cell, and then I was transported to the jail at about 11 o'clock at night on Tuesday. And then I was immediately dressed and then thrown into solitary, again, without all those basic human rights to water and, a bedroll at least to sleep on. I was held in there for about 6 hours in solitary. Right before I was thrown in, I overheard from one of the guards that we should throw her in solitary because, these phone calls are really bugging us and, we should, teach her a lesson, basically, sort of a thing. And then that continued for, again for a couple hours, 6 hours, I believe. And I was gone. I went into my cell block. I was in there all day, kept asking to be seen by the magistrate. And when I finally got to see her, she had decided to make a snotty remark that she should have waited 72 hours to arraign me because of those phone calls that were coming from all of my friends. So, they really did not like that they were getting bugged. They were being inconvenienced by my friends and having to answer phone calls. But even though that happened, I really appreciated those calls because I knew that people were out there thinking of me and knowing that I was in this situation. So, and then I was released. I was bailed out about 4 o'clock on Wednesday, and I was not allowed to leave until about 7:30 that night because they lost my clothing.
Now, is this the first time you've ever been in prison?
No, I did about 12 hours in jail for something really stupid 2 years ago. It was just a small misdemeanor charge, but that's all been handled and taken care of. And I know my experiences in jail were both different. My first time was super traumatic because I didn't know anything about politics, about violence from the state. My ideas and views were a lot different back then. So this time going in, I was really frightened, but at least I knew a lot more of what to expect, and I had all that support coming in. So it was a different experience, and even being put in solitary and stuff, like I wasn't as scared as I was the first time because I knew what was going on, and I knew that they were violating my rights. So not to say it wasn't too bad, but it was pretty awful. I mean, I was sitting there crying a few times, but it was an experience.
That's awesome. Now, tell us about Stateless Sweets.
Sure.
How did you come up with the idea for that?
Well, my grandmother has these amazing candy recipes that have been brought into my life since I was very young and have been cooked since, who knows when. So they've been family recipes, and I just decided one day that, thinking about other agorists in the community, what can I do? And I was just like, I can make candy. I can definitely make candy. I'm great at customer service, and I have a lot of integrity, and I'm a really hard worker. So it was something that kind of just fell in really easily for me. And people responded. My candy is amazing, and it's great recipes, and it's all old-fashioned candy, and so the response is great. And it's just been, my little place in the community, and my little attempt at agorism. I hate saying little, but it doesn't feel like much compared to what other people are doing. But even though I enjoy it so much, but yeah, and it's turned out really well.
All right, that's all the questions I have. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, what do you think is going to be the future of your enterprise? I mean, do you see it as something that's going to expand and maybe leave you in a position where you won't have to worry about things like this again?
Absolutely. I'm actually planning on moving to New Hampshire, I guess as part of the Free State project that's going on over there within the next year or so. So I can imagine just expanding, well beyond right now I'm just doing basically deliveries and farmers markets I'm going to every once in a while. So I can just imagine the Liberty community reaching out at that point and really taking an interest in my business and supporting it. I've even, had a few offers of people wanting to invest in my business to look into, like sugar-free options for people who have health issues. And so, I mean, it's just going to go up and up. And I see really exciting things for Stateless Sweets in the future.
Excellent. Well, did anybody else have any questions or comments?
Jillian, on Stateless Sweets, are your recipes, they're all, are they all natural? Are they organic? Tell me more about it.
Sure. Basically, I'll give you a rundown of the ingredients that I use. Whole milk, cream, butter, brown sugar, regular sugar, and vanilla extract are, my main ingredients beyond, just regular Ghirardelli chocolate that I buy usually for, covering everything. So it's not like I'm throwing in additives, and I make the candy really fresh. So if somebody orders, I usually make it that day and ship it out the next for them. So there's no issues with the candy, sitting around or anything. And it just works out really well with those ingredients. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit tired.
That's okay. You sound tired.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I wish I would have been a little bit more awake for this interview. I apologize, but
it's all right. It's okay.
You've had an exciting week.
Yeah, exciting.
A very tough week.
Yeah, definitely.
But thank you. That sounds wonderful. I'll have to join your Facebook page and.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I actually have a little giveaway going on right now. So when I get 1,000 likes on my Facebook page, I'm going to be giving away 2 really big boxes of candy to people that have ordered within the past couple of months. So I'm really excited about giving away that candy here soon when I reach 1,000 likes. So So.
You make anything with hazelnuts?
I have not worked out any recipes with hazelnuts right now, but I have all kinds of brittle. I can't imagine. I can imagine, making a hazelnut brittle. I have to look at that and see how that would work. But I make almond, peanut, cashew, pistachio, all kinds of nuts. I
have to go online and order something. I need something to keep me crunching on work.
Yeah, all of that, will help me too with my expenses here going on. So, yeah, orders are appreciated.
No problem. Do you have anything else for her, Tim? I mean, that's Todd.
No. I just want to thank you for coming on the show, Jillian, and I hope you fight this, and I hope you have a very good attorney on retainer.
Definitely.
Legalize pot. That's all I got to say on this one.
Yeah, I'll keep you guys updated as well. I'll let you know what's going on, and hopefully.
And the war on drugs. That's exactly what it is.
Right. Well, the war on drugs is a war on people. So that's all it is, really.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, you guys. Thank you for having me on.
Go get some sleep.
I will.
Take care, Jillian.
Take it easy.
Thank you.
Just like you did.
Bye-bye. I will. Bye-bye.